everybody, I'm Erin and this is my booktube channel, Waiting Moose. I am here to do my November wrap-up today. I have a lot of books on this, so I apologize. I probably should have broken it up into 2 videos, but I didn't. So you're stuck with one big video. My cat just moved my light. Awesome. That's what I get for hanging the light on the door. Don't even ask. Don't even ask about my setup. It's it works. Let's go with that. So this month I read a lot. I had some long weekends. I had a little bit of extra time hanging out here and there, and I managed to get quite a bit read. So I'm going to start, probably going to go through this very quickly, just a little synopsis on each of them because there is so much and I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to start with the paper books I read. There are, I believe, 9 of them. That's like 2 a week. That's not that many. I'm a nerd and I have way too much time on my hands. So I started the month with Killer Jam, which I received from NetGalley in exchange for a review. So it's the first in a series by Karen McInerney, and I think that's how you say your name. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a really good start to a series. The stories and characters were interesting and consistent, and they were appropriate for a cozy mystery. I would absolutely read more in the series. Because I have so many books, I kind of made notes. I don't have any of them here. I'm hoping I'll be able to put the picture up beside me if I can figure out how to do that in the editing process. I'm still learning, people. Learning a lot. There's limits to what you can do with free editing software, and I have free editing software. I'm cheap. This is my cat Bailey. Have you met Bailey? She's noisy. She makes all the sounds in all of my videos. She's also 15 and very cute. Okay, so next up, I read Remnants of Murder, which was the 8th book in the Southern Sewing Sisters series by Elizabeth Lynn Casey. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I've read the previous 7 books in the series and I liked them. I thought they were better than this particular book, and I will continue with the series. There's 2 or 3 more books in the series to date. I think it's really done well. It's held up well for a series going into this number of books. Sometimes they don't. They get repetitive. I don't feel like this one has, but I did think that it was a disappointing read in a series that's been really good so far. Foreign Eclairs, which was number 9 in the White House Chef mystery series by Julie Heisey. This book is the last in the series. Another series that has held up really well. I enjoyed all of the books in this series. I thought this one was a fantastic entry. It was a great way to end the series, but it leaves it open to continue if that's not what happens. I give this one 5 out of 5 stars. After 9 books, I love the series, but I'm a little bit happy that it is ending because it's ending at a high note, it's ending well, and it's not dragging on to the point where you're just like, finish. I know I'm going to buy the next book in the series, but finish because I hate them. It didn't get to that point. Next up, I have 2 books. This year I had a goal to try to catch up or finish series that I've started since 2010. There are a lot of these. So I read Aunt Dimity Takes a Holiday and Aunt Dimity Snowbound, which are number 8 and number 9 in the Aunt Dimity series written by Nancy Atherton, set in England. I like these books. They're short. They're generally 200 to 250 pages. They're quick reads, but they've got really good, likable characters, fun, light mysteries, interesting plot lines, and I think that they all fit well in the series, and I really think that it has been well done. This series, I believe, has 20-some books to it. Having read 8 and 9, I'm happy with them. I gave them both 3 out of 5 stars just because they're not great literature, but they are good books for what they are. Rose Under Fire is number 2 in the Codename Verity series. I did a book review about this all by itself. I'll link the video down below so you can watch that. Demise in Denim is number 4 in the Consignment Shop series written by Duffy Brown. It is set in Georgia, and I typically like series set in the South. I do find that the South, in a lot of cases, just acts as another character in the book. It's got so much personality and character itself as a location, and the people are so distinct. I love the South. I did give this one 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't think it was as good as other books in the series. The main character, whose name is Reagan, she had some too stupid to live moments, and those are really deal breakers for me. I don't like a character who does stupid things just to move the plot along, and I also felt that in some cases, some of the scenes were merely filler so that they could get to a certain number of pages to finish the book. I didn't think that they served the story well, which I know I'm talking about cozy mysteries and they're not, again, high literature, but let's have a minimum standard here. That's all I'm saying. Just have a minimum standard. I will continue with that series. I'm just not sure. I'll see what the next book is like, and I'll make a decision then. Next, I read Tempting the Bride, which is the 3rd book in the Fitzhugh trilogy by Sherry Thomas. This is a historical romance set in England, I believe. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really well done for historical romance. It doesn't fall into a lot of the tropes that happen in historical romances. That said, I don't read a lot of historical romances, so someone that reads a lot of them might have a different opinion on that and find that they're not as enjoyable as I thought they were. I would absolutely give another series by this author, Sherry Thomas, a try because I really did enjoy these so much. And finally, the last paper book I read, I've got this one, haha, let me hold it up, was Better Late Than Never by Jen McKinley. This is, I've got 50 pages left and I believe I'm going to finish it tonight, and my rating stands because she can't wreck it in 50 pages. I know she can't. This is the third series I'm reading by Jen McKinley and they're all fantastic. Well, okay, 2 out of 3 are fantastic, so she's not going to wreck this one. I said that fast. So this is number 7 in the Library Lovers series by Jen McKinley. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I think that at number 7 in the series, it is another series that's holding up very well to a number of books in the series. The characters are excellent. Had a little bit of a brush with a love triangle, which was scary there for a moment. But I believe with this book that is finally cleared up, fingers crossed, that nobody does anything to screw it up this time. I love my library. So you'll notice the reason I don't have any of the books for this wrap-up, except for that one, is because they're all library books and I've had to return them to the library before I was doing this. I love my library and I think everyone should go to their library because they're awesome places. A book that is set in a library or set around a library with a librarian as a main character, that it like starts out with bonus points for me. Yeah, it really was a job I should have considered when I was deciding what I wanted to be when I grow up. And, or when I grew up. I guess I am grown up. Who knows? At my age, I probably should be. My hair is horrible. Let's just move on. Next, I have my audiobooks. I love audiobooks, and I'm going to do a video just on audiobooks, a book talk on audiobooks, because I think that they're a valuable tool in many circumstances for getting through some books. I don't mean just as a way to read more books. I mean as a way to fit books into your lifestyle. If it wasn't for audiobooks, I would read so many fewer books than I currently do. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm glad that I found them and I've found a way to make them work for me. Watch for that. For now, the ones I listened to in November started with Reconstructing Amelia. This is by Kimberly McCreight, and it's the second book I read by her. I first read Where They Found Her, and I really liked it, which is why I continued on and read this book, which is not part of a series. I just found another book by that author. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was okay, but it was crazy. And yeah, okay, it's a psychological thriller, but there was a point where the crazy started stretching my ability to suspend disbelief. And in a lot of cases, I read cozy mysteries all the time. So I've got a high threshold on that. Like, you can do a lot of crazy stuff in a book and it's not going to bother me. This went past that. This started pushing my boundaries on that. I didn't find it plausible at times, and I also felt that the end was wrapped up far too neatly, but it ignored some plot holes, and I didn't think that the plot holes meshed well with the ending as it was written. So I didn't like that. Those are the 2 issues that I had with it. So I bumped it down to 3 stars because those are pretty big issues. Next, I listened to Winter at the Door, which is first in a series by Sarah Graves. She also writes cozy mysteries. The synopsis on this one read like a thriller, which is why I picked it up, and I was disappointed. It wasn't overly thrilling. It had a lot of promise, but I found it repetitive, and I thought the characters were underdeveloped and rushed. Next is Cop Killer, which is number 8 in the Martin Beck series of police procedurals. These are written by Maya Sowell and Per Walu. I probably got those names wrong because they're Swedish, and I'm not. These books were written in the 60s. They are some of the first police procedurals that were written, or at least written in this way. They're very well respected crime fiction authors. I felt like I needed to read this series, and I'm glad I did. They're all short, small print, but 200 to 250 pages. They are Let's Pretend This Never Happened, which is a mostly true memoir by Jenny Lawson. I love this book. I also listened to Furiously Happy by the same author, and I think that she has a very refreshing, honest, funny way of looking at her life and her mental illness. It may not resonate well with everyone. When you have to live with mental illness, it's sometimes just easier to laugh at it. The Diva Serves High Tea is number 10 in the Domestic Diva series by Krista Davis. Another book that I really liked. Krista Davis is doing really well in higher numbers in this series. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it had good characters, fairly realistic throughout, and a good amount of character development over the books in the series, so it's not just stagnant characters doing the same thing every time. There is one character that is extremely stagnant, and that character is starting to annoy me. I don't know why she has any friends. I don't know why she's in the books. I don't know. I don't know why she has a relationship with a man. I have no respect for that man based on his relationship with her. I don't know. I don't understand this character. She has not changed at all throughout the series, but everyone else has changed to accommodate her, and that bothers me, and that's why I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. Body on the Bayou is number 2 in the Cajun County series by Ellen Byron. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars, and I thought that it was, again, it's set in Louisiana, so it's set in the South. The South is another character in this one again. I like the characters. I like the storylines. So this was the second in the series, which makes me current on it. Yay! I'm current on a series. The Crossing Places, which is number 1 in the Ruth Galloway series by Ellie Griffiths. I also gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it, but I felt disconnected from the story, and I'm really not sure if that's because of the story itself or if it's because of the narrator, if I just didn't connect well with the person who's actually doing the speaking in the audiobook. The next book in the series I am going to pick up, but I'm going to pick it up in either ebook or a paper book to see if it's the writing or if it's the narrator that is the problem. I recommend this though. It was a decent thriller based on a forensic archaeologist. It is set in Scotland, in the Shetland Islands, I think. I want to say it was set in the Shetland Islands. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'll include most links to these, or at least some information, title information and author information down below. So if you want to look them up on Goodreads, go ahead. I think there are some bad reads in here. Next, I have The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This is by C.S. Lewis, and it is the first book published in the Chronicles of Narnia series, but chronologically it is the second in the series. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. It was nice to return to the world. I read it so long ago that I forgot most of it, so I really enjoyed refreshing my memory on it, and I don't think there's much I can add to the discussion about this book. Tricky 22, which is number 22 in the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich. I have read all 22 of these. There's a 23rd that just came out this year in November. I haven't read it yet. I did switch from the paper books to the audiobooks because these are very repetitive. There isn't a lot of character development from one book to another. I'm on book 22, and I'm sure if I compared it to book number 1, there's 0 character development. I'm pretty sure you could probably find the same, Stephanie's car blows up. Ranger helps her. She's attracted to Ranger. She's attracted to Joe. She's not going to actually have a relationship with either of them, so the love triangle goes on and on and on. Grandma Mazur's crazy. Joe Morelli's grandma's freaking nuts. Lula's hungry and she's going to eat fried chicken. Yeah, that's kind of the story. That's what's going to happen in 23. That's what happened in 22. That isn't a spoiler, just so you know. You read it in 21 and 20 and 19, all the way back to book 1. I prefer the audiobook to the paper books because I think that having a voice and the different voices as they read them, it actually adds a bit to the story, and it made me enjoy them a bit. I think I quit reading after 17 or 18, and then I started again because I found one of them on overdrive and I listened and I was really happy with it, so I've continued listening. I don't know how long that's going to last. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is number 1 in that classic Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. I actually have the book right here that has all of them, not just the first one, but I found the audiobook for the first one and I really enjoyed it. I'm a huge fan of the movie. I thought that the audiobook was really well done as well, different voices. It's almost like watching the movie, but not, because it's an audiobook. If you have read the book, watched the movie, if you're a fan of Douglas Adams and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and you find the audiobook somewhere, pick it up, listen to it. I think you'll enjoy it. The First Wife by Erica Spindler. I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars. It was tough for me. I was looking for a thriller. The synopsis for this read like a thriller, but it wasn't a thriller. It was more Harlequin romance and bad Harlequin romance. I like Harlequin romances. I will read them. I have them on my shelf. This was a bad one. I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars. I thought that Bailey, the main character, was forgettable and daft at times. I really struggled to connect with her as a character, and because all of the suspense in this is psychological, it's in her head, we spend a lot of time in her thoughts, and she spends a lot of time going, I love my husband, I trust him implicitly, he's so awesome, and oh my god, my husband's a serial killer. You see the problem. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really well done. This finally satisfied my search for a good thriller, including a side of psychology for added thrill. That doesn't even make any sense. I thought the characters in this, while not necessarily sympathetic characters, I thought they were really well created. I thought that the mental illness aspect of this was really well handled. I didn't think anything was overly stereotypical. I thought it was, I really liked it. There was flawed characters, but I didn't hate them like I did. I hated the characters in Gone Girl. And I gave Gone Girl 1 or 2 stars. I think I might have given her 2 stars because she was able to so skillfully write characters that I hated and hated so much that I didn't want anyone to win. I wanted them all to just die. That I gave her 2 stars because that takes talent. Because I don't think that was an accident. I think that was intended. And in this book, I think she did a really good job. I actually liked the story better. I was able to find some sympathy for some of the characters in the book, and that helped me. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. America Again, Rebecoming the Greatness We Never Weren't by Stephen Colbert. This was my political humor read that I listened to after the election because there had to be some humor in there somewhere. It is outdated though. It's from 2012. Whole new election this time. Still, if you're looking for some humor about the situation, this might help. Probably not, because then you read the internet and you go, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. Mum's the Word. This is another cozy mystery. This is the first in the series by Kate Collins. It's a flower shop mystery series. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a really good first in series book. I liked the characters. I liked the relationships that she's building. And I thought the plot was pretty decent. I will continue with the series and see how the next one is. Beat the Reaper by Josh Bazel, or Basil. I'm not sure. B-A-Z-E-L-L. I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars. I wanted to like it. I love the mob. I'm kind of obsessed with the mob. So when this book has a mob storyline component to it, in the synopsis, I was really excited to read it. There's a mob hitman, assassin, whatever you want to call him, involved. I thought that the flashbacks were onerous, and we spent so much time getting the backstory through these information dumps in flashbacks that if I was reading the paper version, I would have skimmed them. I would have flipped past them and focused on the story that I found enjoyable and interesting, which was the current timeline. Peter, the doctor in hospital, but instead we were treated to all this backstory in the flashbacks, and it bored the ever-loving out of me. And that bumped it down to a 2 out of 5 stars. I really wish he could have found another way to do it. There is a second book in the series, so I'm tempted to try it because in my mind, the backstory's done. I don't need any more backstory. I know his backstory, and maybe book 2 will have less backstory. But it's not very well rated, so I'm not holding my breath, and I may not read that one. I have one more book, and you guys are done. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. This one I gave 5 out of 5 stars. It's classic. Everybody has probably read this by now, unlike me. I didn't have to read it in school, so I didn't. I enjoyed the audiobook. I thought it was really well done. I thought the characters came to life through the audiobook, which is always nice to have happen. Now, it's based in the 50s or 60s, and it was written in 1962. It's really outdated. And since it was making a social statement, political statement at the time about the little guy's fight against the man, it's easy to get caught up in the differences between our society now and what it was in the 1950s or 1960s. I've read a lot of reviews where people fault the author for racism, sexism, all of that. And I don't think that's fair, because he didn't write this book in even the 90s or 2016. He wrote it in 1962. His social statement in this was about the fight against the man. You know, the little guy standing up for what he needs. And I thought that it was really well established through the patients in the mental hospital and the administration at the mental hospital. I'm not sure whether the ultimate message there was that it's futile or that some people actually survive it and will go on to have a better life. I don't know. I don't know what the moral of the story is. I need to think on that a little bit more, but I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was really well done. And if you keep in mind when the book was written, you will probably enjoy it more than if you expect it to match up with today's standards and society. So those are the books I read in November and listened to in November. I will put a list of them in the description down below because there was a lot, and if I don't get the pictures up here, they're not very memorable. I thank you so much for watching. I love doing these videos. That was my first wrap up. Next month, if I read as much as this, I'm going to split it up into 2 or even weekly because that was ridiculous, and I apologize. I will see you again, I hope, and please leave me any feedback you have. Let me know what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. I'm okay with that. I will see you next time. Thanks again for watching.